Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This video playlist is going to be all about Concept 1, evaluating expressions. And I just wanted to create a playlist to help you study if you needed to develop this concept further. So you can come in, take a concept test, and be ready to roll. So here's Concept 1, evaluating expressions. This is honestly a pretty straightforward concept to grasp, and I think you're going to have no problem with it. Because it's only 2 steps. Ready? Step number 1 is simply to plug in. I'll explain what that means in a moment. And then step number 2 is to solve, to do the actual math, to add, subtract, to multiply, divide, etc., etc. So let's break this down. First things first, what's plugging in? What does it mean to plug in? Well, if you notice at example 1, I've got C plus B plus A. I've got all these letters. And then on the side, I've got what these letters equal. A equals 5, B equals 2, and C equals 3. All plugging in means is to take the letter and replace it with its equivalent value. I'm going to plug in each of these values into the expression. That's why it's called plugging in. Like plugging in a power outlet, you're plugging this 3 into that C. You're plugging this 2 into that B. You're plugging this 5 into that A. So let's do that. C becomes 3. So let's plug the 3 in for the C. Then I'm just going to drop down this plus sign. Not going to change it, just going to bring it down below. This 2 gets plugged into that B right there. And again, I'll drop down that plus sign. Not going to change it. And then this 5 is going to get plugged in for that A. And now I've got the expression, 3 plus 2 plus 5. Well, we can all do addition here. Addition's a pretty early on skill. I'm pretty sure we're strong in it. But let's make sure we add correctly. And I don't just mean by adding the correct numbers. What I mean is adding in the correct order. This is something a lot of people get confused with, believe it or not. Whenever we're solving an expression, whenever we're doing arithmetic, we want to follow PEMDAS. Now, it might be a while since you've heard this term, PEMDAS. PEMDAS refers to the order in which things need to be solved. Each of these letters represents a direction, a type of thing that needs to be solved first. So the P is first. That means the first thing we always solve in any expression are the parentheses. That's what P stands for. Then we go to the exponents. And then it gets a little bit tricky. We do multiplication and division together. We don't do multiplication first or division first. It really depends on what comes first. I'll show you what I mean by that, because the same thing is true for addition and subtraction. So let's look. Is there any parentheses here? No. Are there any exponents here? No. Is there any multiplication or division? No and no. How about addition or subtraction? There is. We've got 2 things to add here. So this is where it's not really going to matter in this equation. In the next one it will. But we always want to be sure that we're working from left to right. From the left side to the right side. Always, always, always. So let's start here. We'll start by adding these 2 first. 3 plus 2, because that's the left side. 3 plus 2 is just 5 plus, just dropping down that plus sign. And I'll drop down this 5. 5 plus 5. And now I can just add these 2 together and I get my answer. 10. So PEMDAS wasn't super important on this one. It will be on the next one. But I just want that to be fresh in your mind when you see this next video. But as for evaluating expressions, that's all there is to it. You plug in the numbers, and then you do the arithmetic. You solve it. And whatever you get at the end, that's your answer. Okay, join me in the next video when we do another example. And in this case, it will matter what we end up doing first. We will work left to right, and it will make a difference. Until then.